Hey, everybody. It is January the 22nd. Ooh, and 606 days of alcohol retirement. And we have been the recipient here in the Deep South of, I don't guess I could say an unprecedented winter storm. Enzo, I believe is the name. But it's done something that I can honestly say I have not seen in my entire lifetime, and that is roughly between 4 and 6 inches of snow here in south central Georgia. Of course, I live in Tifton, Georgia, so we're roughly about hour 15, hour and a half away from the Georgia-Florida border. And the last time that I can remember there actually being snow here in Georgia, South Georgia, in Tifton specifically, was either January or February of 2010. And it definitely was not like this. I will include some links to some of the photos of around my house, just so you get a sense of what we're looking at. And if you live in an area that you commonly get snow, this is no big deal to you. But you need to understand that people in the South, especially the Deep South, as soon as a single snowflake hits the ground, I mean, it's a state of emergency. The schools close down. There's a run on paper towels, toilet paper, and bread at the grocery stores, and all the gas stations run out of fuel. Now, I'm being a little facetious, but the schools are closed. And I mean, even today, and I'm glad for it because the roads are a little icy. Even my driveway this morning, I had to, and I'm still, because I where I'm at in my office here, where I do my main job as well as this content creation, is a secondary building. It's roughly about 15 feet away from the main house. And, of course, I have to walk on our concrete driveway, which has a sheet of ice on it. So that was fun this morning to make sure that while I was out and about trying to get some video and some photos, that I didn't accidentally up and bust my ass. Because the last thing that I want to have to do today is go to the emergency room. Now, speaking of emergency room, no, nobody actually had to go, but I would like to tell you a little story about a mishap that my lovely wife had this past Sunday, and this is in conjunction with the winter storm. So, as you may or may not know, I think I've mentioned it before, we have a sunroom. Now, our sunroom is not used as a sunroom. By the loose definition of sunroom, I guess it's a sunroom. Best we can tell is that when the house was originally built in 1990, it was probably a porch. And then at some point, they decided that when they added the deck, they also, and I don't know which one of these came first, or if they did it at the same time, don't really know. We bought the house in 2006. But they enclosed the porch and made it a sunroom. Well, the sunroom has been primarily used as the cats, the feline haven, if you will, to feed them, to give them a place to lounge, give them a place to feel protected, and, of course, to give them a place to be protected from the weather, whether that be massive storms, thunderstorms, a winter storm. So anyway, with the lower temperatures, my wife decided that they'd already done a treatment, if you will, to the room a couple of months ago where she and my daughter went around and they hung these thicker curtains, which help to insulate the room. And it's doing a great job. I mean, I've got a thermometer in there, one it's Bluetooth connectivity. And when it's 30 degrees outside, it's like 45 in there. It's currently like 29 degrees outside. It's around almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's about 42, 43 degrees in there. So it's insulated well enough. But the flooring is terracotta, and it gets excessively cold. So she decided Sunday afternoon, this was around about 3 or 3:30, that she would carry a blanket in there, lay it on the floor to try to help mitigate some of that cool air, that coldness that would basically emanate up out of the terracotta. In our bedroom, where I was sitting watching the television, I could look out our bedroom door to the French doors that open up into the sunroom. And so I watch her walk out, and then all of a sudden, I hear a cat scream. I hear this noise, and then I see the curtain in front of the door that exits out to the deck. It disappears, and then I hear kind of like a muffled yell, and I'm thinking, what the hell just happened? Did she spook one of the cats? Because we have 2 cats that are technically ours. I mean, they are ours, not technically about it. They're ours. And then we had a stray that took up a couple of years ago. We called him Socks, or I nicknamed him Socks because he's black with white feet, so he always looks like he's wearing socks. Anyway, he was in there, and I was thinking, well, maybe she spooked him, and he jumped, he took the curtain down or whatever. So I was like, well, I better go check this out. So I walk in there, and I open the door to find my wife laying flat on her stomach on the terracotta. And so I rushed down, kneeled down to her side, and I'm like, honey, what the hell happened? And she said, I hit my head. And so basically what happened was when she walked in there with this blanket, Socks got curious. So he was down around her feet. So she was trying to avoid him, but wound up stepping on one of his feet, then got her feet tangled up into the blanket. So it tripped her, and as she was going down, she was trying to grab with her left hand the frame of the door, but she missed the frame, the left side of the frame, wound up hitting the curtain, grabbing it. She hit the right side of the door frame, and as she was going down, she hit it enough that, and I have to admit, this is not the best construction. Again, I didn't do it, but that entire wall, that bottom 2x4 plate apparently had started rotting out, and so that whole wall shifted roughly about 2 inches. And when she went down, she popped her forehead on the terracotta. And so I slowly helped her get up, and as she maneuvered herself around so that she could sit, I could see the damage that she had done to her forehead. The top, the left side of her forehead, she already had a goose egg forming that was basically the size of a baseball. And of course, that freaked me the hell out. I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna have to rush to the ER. But she's like, give me a minute, I'll sit here. She said, my vision's not blurry. She said, I know who I am. I know who the asshole president is that's coming in tomorrow. I know when my birthday is. I know what today is, et cetera, et cetera. So she sat there for a few minutes, and then I slowly helped her up to her feet. And then we discovered that she also banged up her left leg. She's got a cut on her knee, a cut probably about 8 inches down from her knee, and then like a bruise. So she bruised her leg right in that area. She also discovered that apparently she stressed out the thumb on her left hand trying to catch herself, and so that's been sore. And then yesterday, we're not entirely sure what's happening here, but I'm keeping a close eye on her. And this is unfortunate but this is the state of the healthcare industry in the United States and how poor it is when it comes to making sure that you can get vital health care. She's not once said anything about going to the doctor. And, we would go, cost be damned. But I don't know about other Americans, but I know that we do everything that we can to avoid having to rely on our medical facilities because we know, I can't even go for a regular office visit without it being $200. And I pay I think this year I'm now paying $133 to cover myself and her for a policy that has a $17,000 deductible. So unless we're absolutely about to fucking die, it's not going to do us any good. But that's the only reason why I carry it. It's major medical. If I wind up having a heart attack or being in some kind of accident, at least it hopefully won't bankrupt us. So anyway, yesterday morning, and as the day progressed, we started noticing, now keep in mind the goose egg, which has come down, it got up there, and then we started putting an ice pack on it and everything, and it was down by the time that she finally fell asleep Sunday night. And we made sure that she stayed awake at least 6 hours. So it was on the left side of her forehead. Her right eye started getting puffy, like around in the tear duct area. And we really weren't sure what was happening. And as the day progressed yesterday, it started getting redder and more purple. And then by this morning, it literally is a black eye. It's like someone has punched her in her right eye when she hit her head on the left-hand side. Now, two things we're thinking here. Either this is a result of the concussive force of hitting her forehead, though we don't entirely understand why it's not affecting both eyes or why it didn't affect the left eye, or she didn't realize when she went down, when she hit her head, she might have actually hit the knuckles on her right hand, her fist, or something, and that's how this has come about. She says it's not sore. It doesn't hurt. It just looks really gnarly. And of course, she's sharing the photos in our family Signal chat, and I'm like, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. If anything, I'd be the one with the black eyes. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week so far, and some events I could have done without. Her falling and hurting herself is one of them, and of course, she feels like an idiot, and I keep trying to tell her, I said, honey, it's an accident. Accidents happen. And she's like, yeah, but I feel like a moron. I said, but there's nothing you could have done. Short of, the only way this incident could have been avoided is if you didn't actually go and put the blanket down in the sunroom. That's the only way. What happened and couldn't have happened any other way as the events progressed. It's just, you learn from it. And of course, I have forbade her for a little while, especially with the blanket being on the floor in the sunroom. I said, you're not going in there unescorted. If you go in there, somebody's going in there with you. And here I am trying to tell a 54-year-old woman she can't go somewhere. But yeah, so far, everything else, she's not suffering from any headaches, no blurry vision, just a sore knee, sore thumb on the left hand, and now what looks like a black eye from the right eye, which she's got these little round freezer packs that have some kind of, whatever the liquid is in it, and she'll put that on there until it gets warm, and then she'll change it out. So I joked with her. I said, maybe by the end of this weekend, it won't look like I'm a wife beater. And she laughed. So, yeah, that's the update. 606 days of alcohol retirement. 4 to 6 inches of snow here in South Central Georgia. And my wife tried to, not really sure what she tried to do, but she doesn't need to do it again. So, all right, I hope you and yours are doing well. Until next time, take care.